and the staff are basically kept in a state where they don't get a lot of exterior information. They don't get a lot of news from the outside. Mm-hmm. Their mail is opened. They don't have any unviewed communication coming in from family or friends. Mm-hmm. We actually did a course when we started up into the Sea organization, which stated in part of the orientation to the Clearwater organization, which is called FLAG, the Flag Land Base or the Flag Service Organization. It said that your friends are now your fellow staff members, your family and your friends from outside. They're not really your friends anymore. So there's an effort made to isolate the staff. Well, there's a couple of thousand people over there that are on staff. They all eat at the same time. They live in the married couples have apartments, but you live in a group of 4 apartments which all share one kitchen. Mm-hmm. And you share a bathroom with another couple. It's a Spartan life. They provide the uniforms such as they are. They provide the food, and we found that that there was some things going on which definitely put it in the cult category. And one of them, you can go down a whole list, but there was not a whole lot of time for sleeping, much less than we were used to.
How much time are you allowed to sleep? Were you and your wife allowed to sleep?
The public relations statement would be that you're entitled to 8 hours sleep.
But in practice,
fact, we went weeks sometimes getting no more than 5.5 to 6 hours sleep.
Okay.
It would keep us up until 11:30, 12, 1 in the morning cleaning. After everybody else has gone home, the staff on Friday nights goes and cleans various places until 1 in the morning. On Saturday morning, you're supposed to have the entire morning off to clean your own bedroom and spaces, and wash your clothes and things like that. But in point of fact, you're up at 8:30 in the morning for a muster, which is where everybody gets together, and then you're to go back and clean your room. So you basically get about 6-7 hours at the most on Friday night, and then you're back at it. You may have about a half an hour to an hour a week to go shopping in downtown Clearwater at a local convenience store or at Walgreens, something like that, for your necessary personal items like shampoo, toothpaste, things like that aren't provided. Mm-hmm. And then you're back at work. We found that the food was very marginally institutional type food, not very nourishing.
Give us
low budget.
Give us an example.
Every day that I was there, they had pans of scrambled eggs. Once a week, you got
for breakfast. This is
for breakfast.
Okay.
Once a week, you'd get orange juice.
Okay.
The coffee and the coffee cups were interestingly at completely opposite ends of a dining room, which is about 150 feet long. Yeah. Nothing made sense. Nothing was laid out in a way to make it, expedite 2,000 people trying to have breakfast in the morning. It was just kind of a chaos. There was food available. You could get fried eggs if you waited in a line, and to get a couple of kind of cool eggs, or get some bread and cheese. But nothing to write home about.
This is for breakfast.
For breakfast,
okay.
They would also have granola, some bananas, and some hot cereal. Then for lunch, some of it was unbelievable. They'd put out huge platters of bagels with flavored cream cheese, or something that was just all carbohydrates, no protein at all, or pizzas that were just dough and cheese with a few pieces of pepperoni and hardly any meat on them at all. And the result of that is by 3 o'clock, most of the staff would be starving, just ravenously hungry. And so then on to dinner, usually some kind of a meat for dinner, but salad available at a salad bar, but not too much time to eat it. And that was another factor. You usually had about 15 minutes maximum to eat breakfast, lunch, maybe half an hour for dinner, and then you're required to go back to a muster. So there's a lot of staff moving around Clearwater, which is kind of a mystery to the local population, who wonder why there's these huge groups of people moving between one side of Cleveland Street to the other side of Cleveland Street. And our neighbors, before we went into the Sea Organization, our neighbors asked us about that. And we said, well, they're going to eat lunch, and they thought that was amazing, because in 10, 15 years of living in Clearwater, nobody had ever bothered to explain to them that the reason there's hundreds of people crossing the street there at one time is because they're going to a meal. These are the kinds of gaps of reality between the public and the church that very easy to explain, but nobody ever bothered to do it. Mm-hmm. They even go to the trouble of busing people 3 blocks to prevent there being people from walking on the street, because the local population doesn't like it. They don't like the presence of the church downtown with hundreds of people walking around in uniforms, or at least dressed in white shirts and ties. Mm-hmm. So they actually bus people around for distances of less than 6 blocks mm-hmm. on these diesel buses. Mm-hmm. So there's downtown Clearwater is a weird scene, especially to people that know nothing about Scientology. Okay,
so your life in the Sea Organization, you can't own a cell phone.
I'll run it down for you, all the strange things about being in the Sea Org. You can't own a cell phone. They confiscate it as soon as you join.
So there's no one can get any special permission or anything to own a cell phone or anything like that?
You'd have to be a very high executive.
Okay.
Your mail is opened.
Yeah.
All your bills are reviewed, if you have any bills that you pay on a monthly basis. Mm-hmm. Any communication in from family or friends by letter would be censored or gone over. As a possible problem.
How do they censor things?
They would call you in and say, look, this is kind of this person is being a little antagonistic or a little bit too nosy about your schedule or what you're doing.
Yeah.
You might want to think about disconnecting from that person, or not communicating with them, or
wow.
letting them know not to be so nosy. But just the fact that your mail is opened to me is very highly suspicious. The other thing is there's no internet access. You never have access to the internet.
Okay, so people can't do browsing. They can't do email. Can't even do email.
No searches. No email.
Now I just want to point out something. The internet today is really ubiquitous. There aren't too many people in the United States, in North America. I'll say that in North America, and actually in Europe now, who don't have internet access. Well, say Western Europe, who don't have internet access and don't have an email account. And
with the exception of elderly people who,
with a few elderly people,
beyond
right.
the internet generation, they still go, work with landlines. You don't have cell phones.
True. We're talking senior citizens.
Most people have an email account.
Yeah.
Most people have a cell phone.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you've lived all your life, had a successful life, and you've run businesses and had a little money along the way, to join the Sea Org means giving up your cell phone, giving up the internet, and basically plunging into a world which is cloistered. And when I say cloistered, it's like there's walls, there's security guards, there's motion detectors, there's video cameras.
Lots of video cameras?
Lots of video cameras. Downtown Clearwater is blanketed by video cameras from every angle, every street. Every street that's covered from any part of any Scientology building is covered by a video camera.